So hey guys, I just did a video a while ago about the differences in the original colors of the original Star Wars blades. You had red, you had blue, and you had green. And what's really interesting about this is that, as I said in that video, these were chosen somewhat arbitrarily. These colors. Green was chosen because of a conflict with the background of the blue sky while shooting. Really, the red was more symbolic of, like, you know, just an archetypal color, malevolence, danger, evil, that sort of thing, or blood. And the blue was mentioned in the original Star Wars book. This was published in, well, this was originally published, I think, in 76, but this printing was in 1980. So I don't think anything was changed from 76 to 80. But what's interesting is that in the course of rereading this book, I was looking for references to the colors of lightsabers. And to tell you the truth, the only place I could find one was on page 79 when Ben originally introduces Luke to his father's lightsaber. At that point, Anakin's lightsaber. And, you know, at that point, I don't even know if Lucas had a plan for Anakin to be Darth Vader or if that was going to be a separate person. There's a lot of conflict about that. I personally believe that they were supposed to be two separate characters at this point. But let's... when he was writing this in 76 is what I'm saying. Like, obviously, when the movie Empire came out in 1980, obviously that script, you know, had been written. And so, you know, Luke was, spoiler alert, you know, Luke was, and you know, the son of Darth Vader, who was Anakin. So, anyway, here we go. Luke examined the controls on the handle and touched a brightly colored button on the mirrored pommel. Instantly, the disc put forth a blue-white beam of light. It was dense to the point of opacity and a little over a meter of length. So, it's blue. The first lightsaber that we have any contact with is blue. Okay? So then I started looking later in the book, and here. I'm looking at when Luke is using the lightsaber against the drone. And it doesn't mention the color of the blade at all. So let's see, where are we here? Oblivious to the altercation, Luke stood frozen in the middle of the hold. He held an activated lightsaber in position over his head. A low hum came from the ancient instrument while Luke lunged and parried under Ben Kenobi's instructive gaze. As Solo glanced from time to time at Luke's awkward movements, his lean features were sprinkled with smugness. It doesn't say anything about the color of the saber through this entire encounter with the remote that's shooting the laser bolts at him, which is really interesting that it doesn't even mention the color. Because when you're writing, color is big. Color is a useful thing. And obviously, if if you're a filmmaker and you're writing, you want to, like, draw those details in to draw it. But he does talk about the noise of the lightsaber, which is good. He talks about the old man was hefting a silvery globe about the size of a man's fist. It was covered with fine antenna. So you got the silver of the globe, but you don't have the blue of the blade. The blade's not even mentioned. But it also talks about the red beam that the globe emitted was neatly deflected to one side. So we've got red coming from a red beam coming from the globe. So he's not oblivious to the use of color while describing what's going on. But why doesn't he describe the lightsaber blade in that sequence? I thought that was interesting. So as we proceed through the book, we go to the duel between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ben sensed something directly ahead and slowed cautiously. It had a most familiar feel to it, a half-remembered mental odor he could not quite place. Then the figure stepped out in front of him, blocking his entry to the hangar, not 5 meters away. The outline and size of the figure completed the momentary puzzle. It was the maturity of the mind he had sensed that had temporarily confused him. His hand moved naturally to the hilt of his deactivated saber. "I have been waiting a long time, Obi-Wan Kenobi," Darth Vader intoned solemnly. "We meet again at last. The circle has been completed." Ben Kenobi sensed satisfaction beneath the hideous mask. "The presence I sensed earlier could only have been you." Kenobi regarded the great form blocking his retreat and nodded slowly. He gave the impression of being more curious than impressed. "You still have much to learn." "You were once my teacher," Vader admitted, "and I learned much from you. But the time of learning has long passed. I am the master now." The logic that had constituted the missing link in his brilliant pupil remained as absent as before. There would be no reasoning here, Kenobi knew. Igniting his saber, he assumed the pose of warrior ready, of movement accomplished with the ease and elegance of a dancer. Rather roughly, Vader imitated the movement. Several minutes followed without motion as the two men remained staring at each other as if waiting for some proper yet unspoken signal. So they're staring at each other and they're talking. Executing a move of incredible swiftness for one so old, Kenobi lunged at the massive shape. Vader blocked the stab with equal speed, riposting with a counterslash that Kenobi barely parried. Another parry and Kenobi countered again, using this opportunity to move around the towering Dark Lord. They continued to trade blows, with the old man now backing towards the hangar. Once his saber and Vader's locked, the interaction of the two energy fields produced a violent sparking and flashing. A low buzzing sound rose from the straining power units as each saber sought to override each other. Again, and nowhere is it mentioned anywhere in this duel that Obi-Wan's saber is blue or that Vader's saber is red. And I find that extremely interesting and very unusual because obviously those are things that drew us, I think. At least drew me when I saw the movie. That was one of the most exciting things was the color of these energy beams. And blue representing in this case good and red representing in this case evil. And the clashing between those two things, the symbolism of it. So I thought it was interesting that the original book doesn't even mention the color of the sabers. So if you found that interesting, let me know. And if there's anything else you want me to discuss, let me know in the comments below. Liking and commenting helps me a lot. And subscribing is always nice. So I hope you guys have a great day today, and I appreciate all the things that you've done to help me. Let's have a great day and see if you can help someone else today. It'll make you feel good. Thanks.